You want to start? Okay.
We started. Yes, okay. So since it's our first video, I decided to start with the bloopers
Okay.
and just start as where we would start from, which probably could be now. So, Bianca, how are you today?
I am very happy and grateful to be with you and doing this video for everyone today. How are
Yes,
you?
me too. I'm doing really great, and I'm so excited for our adventures together. This whole Stella Nova community and how we're working together to create this space for everybody to share, to learn, to have a collective experience, and to be of support of each other. You know, we do want to be there for one another and listen to each other, and to be able to create that space for people to be very open and free and safe to just express themselves.
Yeah, exactly. And I just love the passion that we both bring into it because, we are passionate about transforming our lives, transforming other lives, and really just making it, as you say, a collective transformative experience. We all gonna be putting in nuggets of wisdom or questions and just building and holding up the space and the energy to just for everyone to create a life that they are really more powerfully aligned with, a life
Yes,
where they express themselves freely and without boundaries or borders.
yes, and that's what Stella Nova is about. It is about no boundaries and no borders, and that's what it is. That's what the slogan is about, the art of freedom. You know, no boundaries, no
Exactly.
borders in all ways possible.
Exactly.
And like, since that is our slogan, the art of freedom, that would be our first topic for today to discuss. Yes. So, what does freedom mean to you, Bianca?
To me, freedom is very, very personal. It was something that personally I struggled with a lot in the past. I felt very weighted down by others people's judgments and opinions, and I felt that I needed to prove myself worthy of something to others, until I realized that freedom is something that we create in the heart, we create from within, and we say, I don't have to prove anything to anyone. I don't even have to prove anything to myself. I can just be free and authentic in the moment. And I let everyone else's reaction to be their own, because it is their freedom and their free will to choose the reaction they would like to choose. So we get to be less bound and weighted down by, it's actually a judgment that we put on ourselves,
Yeah.
not anyone else. It's us that is being scared about judgment of others. And I feel like this has a lot to do with the question between, or the difference between fitting into something or belonging into something.
Yes, absolutely. And speaking of belonging, is that I grew up in a society that doesn't have much freedom for women. And that's kind of like an external freedom of the right to be, or the right to do whatever we want. And um, once I left, I left that place, I left that country because I thought that was freedom. but I didn't know that I found myself still trapped. Um, that I noticed that I grew up thinking that I was not good enough. So I was very trapped and alone in my own mind, and then like kind of like in all my fears. I just had so many fears, and it was just constraining me that I wouldn't do what I wanted to do. I was so shy. I couldn't speak out, um and when I noticed that, oh my God, I'm just trapped in my own self, in my own perceptions, in my own judgments of myself. And those are big, deep judgments of oneself, to be just trapped. And that's what freedom is to me, is to overcome all my fears.
Yeah.
Yes. And just go out there, like be me, like um I don't need to fit into a society or follow certain norms just to be happy, because I was never happy that way. It felt like I was living
Mm.
a double life, like something like schizophrenic in a way.
Yeah.
Yes, that I felt like, okay, the real me, and then this facade that I'm putting up to people and to the world, just to fit in. But it just, no matter what, it will always feel not right. It will feel emptiness, this void in between.
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly. And at the same time, what I'm also getting is that, like, I felt this is so exhausting, you know? It's taking away a lot of energy to just be constricted by fear, limitations. And at some points, I felt so confused because, like, you tend to have conversation with others about what you should do or what you should not do. And it's all these comparisons that is just really also draining our energy. It's like, okay, you see 15 roads in front of you, and people say, oh, like it would be good for you to do this because then you would feel safe. And I'm saying safe because safety is something that is actually like also within ourselves. It's not the money that we have, but it is how safe we feel with ourselves and how resourceful we feel. And I think that's a big thing as well. Like freedom for me comes with knowing that I have the resources to
Hmm.
to just deal with any situation in a way that I choose to. And I don't have to ask anyone else or accept anyone else's opinion about how I should be or where I should go. So it really
Yes.
is this liberation, and even I don't know what it was for you, but when I started this journey, I didn't even know who I was. I was adopting maybe even what I liked or what I didn't like, sometimes from others, just to be part of society, you know. And then I started to feel into, what is it that I like?
Hmm.
What is it that I don't like?
Yeah. Yes, absolutely. I mean, I've felt the same way, that there are some parts of my life that I just did not know. Like, I had no experience in them. I was open to try everything, to see what it is that I like, and that was the transformative part. Was, okay, I know I don't know what I
Yeah,
like, and what drives me, and what brings me fulfillment.
yeah,
And one thing that I read before, that when children and older people are people that present this freedom, this big freedom of being who they are. They just go out and they try things, and they don't feel ashamed, or they don't feel scared, or they don't feel uh, any rejection or fear of hurting themselves. They just go and do it. And I was like, wow, yeah, I remembered my childhood. Like,
yeah,
yes, I was just so daring. I would be ready to walk out that door and and do whatever it is, and just climb up monkey bars and just not care, sing out loudly, laugh out loud, not really caring. And I was like, yes, that's what it is. And that
Yeah,
was the beginning of the journey for me, was connecting to my inner child. Okay,
yeah,
that part where, oh, I don't need to always think twice. And just speaking about the part where knowing that we're all resourceful, is that,
yeah,
hey, I've lived a life with so much experiences, okay, and I have so many people around me that, we share our experiences together. And I noticed like this one thing is, whenever there's a situation, I would like think about like maybe 10 scenarios of what would
yeah,
happen and how to prepare myself for these scenarios.
yeah, yeah,
And uh, now what I practice is, when my mind goes there, I become aware of, oh,
yeah,
I'll go like, oh, wow, Lana, that shows that you're very resourceful. You can think of so many solutions and ways. So let's not worry about this right now. Like, be present. And I think that's one
yeah.
other thing that freedom means to me, is being present.
Mm, yeah, I absolutely 100% connect to this with you. Um, because what I'm experiencing, and I'm experiencing this with a lot of people, is that we either tend to live in the past or we tend to live in the future. And what happens is we lose the present moment, you know? Imagine, for example, when you're eating a beautiful meal and you're watching TV while you're eating this beautiful meal.
Hmm.
Have you smelled the food? Did you taste the food? You actually really indulged yourself in this beautiful meal that was presented to you? Or are you halfway with the TV or halfway still at your working day? It's like when we start to live in the moment and be present in the moment, it's like cultivating back all of our other senses.
Yes.
It's then not only playing in the mind, but it's like, what can I feel? What can I taste? What can I smell? What can I hear? And it gives such a richness to the experience. And
Yes.
at the same time, it sets us free because it says, I don't need to know what's going to happen in an hour.
Hmm.
And freedom, I'm sure it's the same for you. Freedom does not mean that we don't have any goals.
Yeah.
For sure, like we have goals and it is important to have goals. But that doesn't mean that in every moment of every day we have to think about all of them and how they come to be.
Yeah.
It's a little bit also of letting go, as you beautifully said, of that mind chatter.
Hmm.
It's like the little bird that goes, yeah, 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 mom, mom, all day long, you know?
Yes,
Ah,
absolutely. It's like
that,
reiterating everything that you need to do, because sometimes we get caught up like, oh my God, I have like a whole list of doing things. I do need to do one, two, three, four, five, and that's being stuck in just
yeah,
trying to make sure that everything goes according to plan and according to
yeah,
point, and that causes stress, and that takes away from our freedom. Absolutely. And what we do is that, yes, we plan for them. Just, we, we plan a time that we're going to plan for these things. And then it's just, the
absolutely.
planning will be only in that time. So the rest of the time we can be free of always constantly thinking, which could lead to worry.
Yeah,
Yes.
yeah, exactly. So we spend so much time worrying about something, and then actually that thing we are worrying about doesn't happen,
Hmm.
you know? One of the biggest things that I'm experiencing that was weighing down my freedom, and I think it might have been similar for you, what we would call the money monster.
Ah.
It's like we tend to look at how much we have right now, and then we tend to evaluate, and then we tend to think that we're never going to have more. So it's this kind of like, again, this limited thinking, this projection in the future. It's like how much we have now or what we do now is going to be the exact same thing that we're going to have or have to do later, so we can have this stability. And
Yeah.
part of freedom, I think, is looking at money as type of energy that comes and goes. The more tightly we hold on to it, the more we're going in this limiting or lack, I call it the lack consciousness. And what we create is more lack,
Yes.
because our
Yes.
thoughts, our mind is so powerful. It goes like, oh, you want lack? I'm going to give you lack. You know, it's literally how powerful we are. You know, it's amazing. So part of freedom is taking back our power and saying, I deserve abundance. And abundance is much more than money, as I think we both know. But
Hmm.
it's like, I deserve this abundance. I can have this abundance. And letting go of this scheme, I need to do something to get money or to deserve money.
Hmm.
Because then we are limiting ourselves by the ways that it can actually come to us.
Yeah, very true. Very true. Because when we just think about money, okay, money is the goal, money is the goal, this is what I need to get. And the thing is, when we look at it, is like, why do you want to get this money? Like, what do you need? Are you in need of food? Then yes, you're there to survive and you will survive, you know? When you need a food and shelter, you're there to survive. But when you need the money to uh, buy the latest phone or be in the latest fashion or to be able to do things that, you know, you say that will buy you happiness.
Yeah.
Yes, and just get addicted to that because I used to work in a good job and it used to pay really well. And um, every time I felt sad, I went out and I bought something.
Mm-hmm.
When I went and I traveled on a business trip on my own and I feel bored, I'd go shopping and I'd buy something. And it felt like, you know, just buying, like, oh, okay, I can wear this new dress, I can wear this whatever, and I can show off. And it's also a trap. And I've noticed that, so many of us could be entrapped of that, the consumerism in a way to please a lack, like you were
Yeah.
saying, and then
Yeah.
that lack is just, it keeps on growing, so you just keep on buying more. Like, I need this to verify myself, I need this to show who I am, like, as a social status or whatever, that I have to wear these things and I have to do these things and I have to have something new all the time. Um, and yes, breaking free from that idea of money, like, yes, like you said, money is an energy, and it is that energy. What do you want to do with that energy? How do you want to use that energy to contribute in this world?
Yeah,
Yes.
exactly. Absolutely. And the one big word that showed up like a light bulb in my head, because it always does, when we're talking about the lack consciousness and money actually buying us happiness, is the fact that it all goes back to self-love.
Mhm.
It really does for me. It's like loving yourself and knowing that you're worthy, doesn't matter what, because this creates security per se. And you know what I'm experiencing with a lot of people is also that they are not allowing themselves
Mhm.
to receive the abundance that is actually there for them. They have this limited thinking, I am not worthy of abundance.
Mhm.
That also that comes a lot with it. And for me, self-love is a lot different than self-confidence. Self-confidence is something that you can project on the outwards,
Mhm.
but it doesn't necessarily mean that you're feeling it on the inside.
Yeah.
And what I'm experiencing is I see many people walking around, and we talked about that lately as well, with a huge wall in front of their hearts.
Mhm.
And that is a
Yes.
part that also keeps them trapped, this part of not actually living and feeling their heart and the love that they can have towards themselves and others.
Yes,
If people
absolutely.
start taking down that wall and feel more love, then love would be our energy. Then we wouldn't necessarily need any money, because if I wouldn't have it and I would need food, I would call you and I would say, Lana, can I come for a meal? And you would say yes. So so then we wouldn't have to fear this instability or this lack of security.
Yes, I believe that too. I mean, we have this fear against losing money,
Yeah.
that, oh my God, what's going to happen to me? I'm going to be in the streets. And it's like, wait a minute, like, if you don't want to be on the streets, you have a choice.
Exactly.
Yes,
Yeah.
yes, you have a choice. You have the choice because, like, we're all loved. We all have people around us. It's just to be free to reach out, to have that freedom to go reach out to the people around you, and to know that the more that you give yourself that love, the more
Yeah.
you will receive that love around you.
Yeah. Exactly. So being open
Yes.
to receive, and happiness, something that I recently looked up actually in a study. So there's been scientific project around happiness, is that happiness is actually more or less a hormone. So something that you can produce in the moment, and you can choose to produce it in the moment. Because
Yes.
as you say, like, I can connect to that. You feel sad and you go and you buy something that makes you happy for what, 5 minutes, and then you might not ever look at this one thing anymore.
Yeah.
So the knowing that happiness is not something, actually nothing, freedom also is something that gets created from the inside.
Hmm.
So first we create this liberation within ourselves, the freedom and the happiness,
Yeah.
and the outside is just a reflection of our state of the inside. If we believe in abundance, abundance is going to come. If we believe in lack, then that's what we're going to create.
Yes.
So knowing that it is really the self-imposed, it's like a self-imposed cage that we put ourselves in,
Hmm.
and we're cutting ourselves off from the flow of energy, if you will call it so.
Yes, absolutely. It is where it's like, which direction do you want to look at?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. If you want to say, okay, I want to feel abundance and freedom. It's
Yeah,
joining them together. It's like, all right, this is what I want to feel. This is the direction of where I want to go. What is stopping in my way? And just like get it out of my way.
yeah, absolutely.
Yes.
Exactly.
So, um, I think we've recorded quite enough. What do you think, Bianca? Do you think
I
we've
agree.
brought up some topics that people
Yeah,
would like hearing in the future?
I definitely think so. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
Yes.
And I love sharing the space with you, Lana. I just want to also say it out there to the universe that
Oh,
I'm amazed by what we do together and what we create together. And I'm so excited for who else is going to join us in our group field, in connecting more to all these energies and releasing more. So I really
yes.
want to invite everyone to just connect with us and connect with love for themselves and share their experiences with us.
Yes, and we want to know, what does freedom mean to you guys? How do you
Yes.
express your freedom? What is your journey of freedom? And we are so excited to bring more and more and more videos, more topics. Also, let us know what you guys want to hear us talking about. Maybe you can join us in the conversations in the future. And please subscribe to Stella Nova. We're also on Facebook. We have a Facebook group if you want to join the constellation of stars.
Yes. Please
Yes. Please do. So, see you guys later. Mwah.
come.
Thank you,
Much love.
Bianca.
Thank you, Lana. Love you.